questions to ask yourself about setting up your written goal and vision board for the coming year. Why don't we start with some questions to look at the current year and see where you are right now? What is something that went well for you this year?
Again, it goes back to my health. I mean, that was major to me. That was real major. And beyond that is, well, this year, I'm gonna tell you, I was able to, this year, after I paid my bills, I was able to have money left over. And that was one of my goals, too, where I can just walk in the store and buy the things that I want and need after bills. And it wasn't really a struggle financially. I didn't have a financial struggle this year, so I was very happy with that.
That's awesome. That's a blessing in itself.
Yes, because last year I was struggling so bad I didn't think I could breathe. But that was on my vision board, was to be able to have money left after I paid my bills to just do what I wanted to do with it, and I did. And so next year, though, I'm back on my grind. So next year is about building and not just spending. I just needed that break in there.
I understand. One of the things that really can be helpful in allowing you to reflect and review the current year is to find a sheet of paper, and on one side, at the top, write less, number it 1 through 10 up under it. Draw a line through the middle of the paper and put more up under more, number it 1 through 10, and then make a list for each one, less and more. What you want less of in the coming year, and then look at 1 through 10 what you want more of in the coming year. That will give you an idea of where you want to start as far as working on goals for the coming year.
I actually think you should do that before you even start setting any goals for the new year. As a matter of fact, y'all, that's your homework assignment, to make that chart of less of and more of.
And that's going to help you get your juices started on what it is, get your mind just going on what it is that really worked for you this year, what really didn't. In this current year, what is one word that you would describe this year? If you had to come up with one word for the year to describe your year, what would that word be?
Speechless.
What has left you speechless about 2018?
I am speechless about all of 2018. From the blessings that God has given to the ups and downs that I've been through. Everything is just speechless. I don't have a word for it. I just don't have a word for it, because I looked at it as everything that happened in this year. I looked at it as a blessing and a lesson. Everything that happened, whether it was good or bad, I just counted it as a blessing and a lesson. And it left me speechless, not in a bad way, but in a good way. The way I kept seeing God just come through, time after time after time after time after time after time after time, I was speechless at what he done. And then, it just blew my mind. So I'm just speechless. And he's still not finished. He's still not finished yet. I just got some news 2 days ago about a housing opportunity. So that was, I've been already celebrating like it's already mine.
Amen. I often tell people you have to see the end at the beginning.
That's
you got
it.
to see yourself in that position of wanting say you want a new car.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be able to see yourself driving that particular car that you want, being able to maintain that car. So when you go about taking those steps to actually obtain that car, you're not really stressing about whether you're going to get it or not, because you believe in God and you've done what you need to do on your end, so he can do what he needs to do on his end. Y'all meet up in the middle, and there you go. He blesses you with what it is that you've been asking him for and what you deserve.
Oh, you just said something big right there. You said something big in there, and I had to write it down. The part about the vision, not only seeing yourself with it, but maintaining it.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to maintain it, that is big, because a lot of people will write a vision out and they won't even think about how am I going to keep it up or anything like that. They just want to obtain it, but they don't think about the maintaining part. And that's why a lot of times people will feel like the vision board didn't work for them or whatever. And that's because you didn't put in all the steps of that. You might have got to it, but you didn't know how to keep it. So all of that works together. I'm glad you brought that out.
Yeah, and I've thought about that because we're getting ready to enter into what I like to refer to as 30-day tag season.
Yes.
Because people are going to be getting these income taxes, and they're going to go get these nice cars, and by June, July, take back man going to be in their driveway picking them up.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have not thought about or put a plan in place to maintain what it is they want.
And that goes for houses as well. You get a home, have something in place to maintain that home as well. You wouldn't want to pray for God all these years to give you a home, and then next thing you know, you don't want to keep it. Well, you want to keep it, but you don't want to put the money into it that it needs. That's another thing right there, too. Your houses, tax time, they go out getting a lot of houses and only keep it for a few months, and then next thing you know, they're moving again.
And this is a cycle because the same people are doing the same thing year after year. And it's all because they didn't properly plan for it.
Mhm. And that cycle can be broken just with knowledge and wisdom.
That's true. Very true. So what would you say would be the biggest lesson that God taught you this year?
Don't ever doubt him. And don't go by what it looks like.
That's a big one.
Don't go by what it looks like. Everything I saw this year looked horrible. It looked bad from inside out. But I never lost my faith. I didn't lose my joy. I didn't lose my peace. It was a few times I had restless nights, but it didn't take my peace. It was a few times I had to cry, but it didn't steal my joy. I never went by what anything looked like. Even when I would see everybody else losing their minds and stuff, just trying to keep something going, I never went by that. I stayed in contact with God. And I never doubted that he would not change things. He changed things for me in a way that, like I said, I'm speechless. 2018 is a speechless year for me.
He wanted to make sure that he got all the glory out of that situation.
And he did. He got it out of all of it, because I'm telling you, when I say speechless, I'm still speechless. And it's because I did. You know, I'm going to tell you something. I had to adjust my vision board throughout the year. I had to adjust, and I had to adjust my goals throughout the year. Some of the goals that I originally started out with, they had to wait till like the middle, and then I had to add some in there, you know. But I tell you, he came across with every one of them. I can't complain on that end. I can't. I cannot complain.
And that's a gift and a blessing. It really is.
Yes, it is.
So what would you say is the biggest piece of advice you would give to somebody that you learned this year that could be a help to them?
The biggest what?
What was the biggest lesson you learned this year that could be of help to them? So what advice would you give them from what you've learned?
From what I learned this year, I would say put your faith to work. Put your faith to work. And when I say put it to work, if you expect God to do something, then you do something too. Whether that's sitting back being quiet or whether that's getting up and acting on something that comes into your heart. Whether that's praying, you be doing something. It's not that God can do it, that he can't do it all by himself, but you need this growth and maturity. And sometimes that's the only way he can get our attention is through allowing those trials and tribulations to come and allowing us to keep our focus on him. Stay focused on God. Even if you fall off while trying to achieve your goals and your visions, you know, if you fall off, just get back up when it seems like things are all over the place. Sit back down and write. I'm more of a writer, too, like Tanya. I'm more of a writer, so sometimes I do the vision board, but most of the time I go to good old-fashioned paper and pen. Fill up your tablets. Keep writing. I wrote out a lot of prayers this year, and that's something I usually don't do, but I had to keep writing prayers this year. So I would say never give up on yourself because God hasn't given up on you. You just got to learn how to stay connected and focused on him, and then the rest will fall in place.
That's very true. I know the word that I would say that sticks out to me for 2018, because we're not completed this year yet, but as far as we are into this year, the word that keeps coming up and resonating with me is empowered.
Oh, yes.
Because this year I have learned so much more about myself.
Amen.
There has been so many things that I've just gotten out of my own way so that I'm not standing in the way of things that I say that I want to get done, and I'm not listening to the voice of other people over my own.
Mhm.
Because I think sometimes we hold other people's opinions so highly that we allow it to drown out our own voice.
Oh, yes.
So I've gotten to that point where I value, input from certain people because they have lived longer than me and they are wise. And I always like to surround myself with wisdom. But in the end, I am the one making the final decision on what it is that I'm going to do. And I am the one taking it to God saying, this is what I want. I don't know if it's within your will, but this is my desire. One of the things that I've also done this year is I sleep with 2 different notepads by my bed, and I have pens on my nightstand. Because I wake up and I'm writing. I'm writing prayers. I'm writing ideas. There are things that I want to get done and things that I have planned out to put in motion the coming year. One of the things that I've had to